Ladies and gentlemen, if you are hearing this message before October 5, understand, this is not a coincidence. You didn't stumble here by accident. Something divine led you here because heaven has a message for you. The truth is, when God chooses someone, their life begins to shift in ways they can't explain. Doors close, people disappear, and the path gets lonely. But listen closely. That's not the end, that's the activation of your purpose. So if you feel this in your spirit right now, don't scroll away, because what you're about to hear might just confirm everything your soul has been waiting for. Because from this moment forward, everything that once made sense will begin to shift. The things you once chased will start losing their appeal. The people who once defined you will begin to fade from your story. Not because they are bad, but because their chapter in your journey is complete. You're stepping into a new vibration, a new level of awareness, and that means the old energy can no longer stay attached. The chosen are called to rise above what once held them down, and that process always begins with release. You might feel discomfort during this transition. The chosen always do. Growth never feels graceful while it's happening. It tears, stretches, and breaks away what no longer belongs. But you must not resist it. You must allow it, for resistance delays transformation, but surrender invites destiny. When you stop clinging to what is leaving, you make room for what is coming, and what's coming is far greater than what you've lost. You see, the divine does not take without purpose. Every subtraction in your life is making space for multiplication. Every closed door is redirecting you toward the one that leads to fulfillment. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The isolation that once felt unbearable is now becoming your preparation ground. In solitude, your vision clears. In quiet, your purpose becomes unmistakable. There will be moments when you'll want to turn back, when the comfort of the past whispers to you that it was safer there. But safety is not your calling. Greatness never grows where it's comfortable. You were not chosen to remain hidden in mediocrity. You were chosen to illuminate. The chosen must walk where others hesitate. They must believe when others doubt. They must build when others wait for certainty. And through that courage, they become instruments of change. Every time you felt misunderstood, remember this. Clarity often comes before recognition. The world cannot understand what it has not yet seen. The vision inside you is ahead of its time. That's why people doubted you. That's why doors closed. That's why the path looked empty. You are being called to walk by faith, not by sight. Those who are chosen must trust the unseen long before it becomes visible. Do not mistake the stillness for inactivity. Even when nothing appears to be happening, everything is happening. Beneath the surface, your life is rearranging itself to align with the new frequency you are stepping into. Divine timing doesn't rush, but it never fails. The right moment is being carved in precision, waiting for your readiness to match your opportunity. The chosen understand something that most people overlook. There's power in patience. When you stop forcing outcomes, you allow divine flow. When you stop chasing what isn't meant for you, what is meant for you will find its way effortlessly. This doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you move with purpose, not panic. You act with intention, not desperation, and soon your obedience will be rewarded. The seeds you planted in faith, the sacrifices you made in silence, the tears you cried when no one noticed, they were never ignored. Every unseen effort has been recorded in eternity, and now they're about to bear fruit. You will look back one day and realize that the waiting wasn't wasted. The pain was necessary. The struggle was sacred. Because it built a strength in you that cannot be taken away. You may notice signs around you, numbers, words, conversations, moments that feel strangely meaningful. Don't ignore them. These are confirmations. The divine doesn't always speak with thunder or visions. Sometimes it whispers through synchronicity, guiding you toward what's next. Be sensitive to these nudges. Follow them, even when they don't make sense yet. Because obedience always precedes understanding. As you move forward, you must protect your energy. Everyone won't understand your transformation. Some will try to pull you back into old versions of yourself, because that's the only version they recognize. But you've outgrown that version. You've shed the skin of limitation. You've stepped into expansion. Don't explain your evolution. Live it. Those meant to walk with you will adapt to your growth. Those who can't will naturally fall away. Let them. This journey you're on isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving your soul right. You are not in competition with anyone. You are fulfilling an assignment uniquely designed for you. Your story is not supposed to look like anyone else's. That's why comparison kills clarity. Stay in your lane. Stay faithful to your process. You will rise at the appointed time, and no force on earth can prevent what heaven has decreed. Remember, power without purpose is chaos, and purpose without preparation is waste. You have both. You've been prepared whether you realize it or not. Every hardship carved wisdom into your soul. Every delay taught you patience. Every betrayal reminded you to trust the divine, not man. Now you are equipped, not with just knowledge, but with understanding, not with ego, but with endurance. That is what separates the chosen from the crowd. From this point on, your focus must sharpen. Distractions will increase, opportunities will multiply, and not every open door will be divine. Some doors will be tests. Learn to discern. Learn to pause before saying yes. Not everything good is God sent. The chosen must learn to recognize alignment, not just excitement. You don't need to chase every possibility. What's meant for you will fit without force. You'll also begin to notice a calm confidence rising within you. The storms that once terrified you no longer hold the same power. You've been through too much to be shaken easily. You've discovered that your peace doesn't depend on circumstance. It comes from understanding who walks beside you. You've learned that true power is quiet, steady, and unshakable. That's the mark of someone who knows they're chosen. As this awareness grows, opportunities will appear, but they will require courage. You will have to speak when you'd rather stay silent, act when you'd rather wait, lead when you'd rather follow. But each of these moments will pull you closer to your purpose. Don't shy away from responsibility. It's the language of destiny. The chosen are not rewarded for what they know, but for what they're willing to become. The coming days will challenge you to rise higher mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Old habits will try to resurface. Familiar fears will whisper their lies, but you must stay centered. This is the final test before the breakthrough. You've already come too far to retreat now. Every time doubt creeps in, remind yourself that if you weren't ready, this season wouldn't have arrived. The fact that it's here is proof that you are prepared. There will be moments when you'll stand in awe of how everything begins to align. The right people will appear, the right words will come, the right doors will open. You'll wonder how it all fell into place, and the answer will be simple. You finally stopped resisting. You allowed divine timing to do its perfect work. You trusted instead of panicking. You believed instead of doubting, and that belief became the bridge between the unseen and the seen. The chosen walk by faith, but they also walk with responsibility. The influence you are about to carry will not be for your glory, it's for service. The blessings you receive are not trophies, they're tools to build, to heal, to uplift. Use them wisely, for the measure of a chosen one is not in how much they possess, but in how much they give. You've been through enough seasons of preparation to understand that everything has meaning. Every person, every failure, every lesson, it all fits together like a divine mosaic. The picture only becomes clear when you step back and see how every piece had purpose. Trust that even the parts that hurt were necessary to complete the whole. So as you stand here, between who you were and who you are becoming, know that you are on sacred ground. Something powerful is unfolding. The invisible hand that guided you through storms is now leading you into light. You are crossing over from endurance to expansion, from confusion to clarity, from delay to destiny, and through it all, remember, this is not luck nor coincidence. This is calling. You were meant to hear this. You were meant to awaken now, in this moment, before this season turns. The time has come to rise, to move, to live in full awareness of who you are and whose you are. For the chosen never remain hidden forever. Their time always comes, and yours has begun. And yours has begun, though it may not yet feel like it. The beginning of a divine season rarely announces itself with noise or celebration. It arrives quietly, like dawn after a long night. You may not see the full light yet, but the darkness is lifting, and if you pay attention, you can feel it. The subtle shift, the peace beneath the surface, the inner knowing that what's coming will outweigh everything you've endured. That feeling is not imagination, it's confirmation. The atmosphere around your life is changing because the assignment over your life is activating. This is the moment where your words begin to carry more power. Every thought you nurture and every sentence you speak is shaping your reality. You must guard your language like a treasure. Speak only what aligns with where you're going, not where you've been. The chosen understand that speech is not small. It is spiritual. What you declare consistently becomes the environment you inhabit. So speak life, speak victory, speak faith, speak what you want to see, even when the evidence hasn't appeared yet. The unseen always bows to the spoken when it's rooted in truth. Now, more than ever, discipline must become your closest companion. Not the harsh, rigid kind that steals joy, but the sacred kind that protects destiny. Discipline in your thoughts, discipline in your habits, discipline in how you spend your time. You no longer have the luxury of wasting days on things that do not build you. Every distraction, every delay, every negative influence must be recognized for what it is, an attempt to pull you out of alignment. You cannot afford to live carelessly when purpose is calling your name. You will begin to sense that time feels different now. The same hours that once slipped away unnoticed will now feel precious. You'll crave focus. You'll crave silence. You'll crave meaning in every action. This is the divine recalibration. You are no longer being drawn by external noise. You are being pulled by internal truth. And that truth whispers, you were made for more. The people around you will begin to notice the change. Some will be inspired by it, others may feel threatened. Do not take it personally. Light always exposes what prefers to stay hidden. Your growth may reveal to others what they've been avoiding in themselves. That's not your burden to carry. You're not here to convince anyone of your transformation. You're here to live it so boldly that it becomes impossible to deny. There will be moments of loneliness in this ascent. Do not misinterpret them. Isolation is not abandonment, it's instruction. When the divine separates you, it's to refine your frequency. You are being tuned to the wavelength of your destiny. The noise that once surrounded you can no longer interfere with your signal. You are being made sensitive to guidance that most people miss because they are surrounded by too much chaos. Treasure the quiet, that's where the guidance comes. You will notice that clarity begins to replace confusion. The choices that once seemed complicated will start to feel obvious. That's what happens when alignment begins. Your spirit starts to recognize truth instinctively. What's not meant for you will begin to repel you. You'll lose interest in things that once consumed you. Even your desires will shift. The surface wants will fall away, making space for the deeper calling that has been waiting all along. Don't rush this process. The chosen never mature overnight. The fruit that grows slowly lasts the longest. The roots being built beneath your life right now are deep and unshakable. Trust the timing. The delay between revelation and manifestation is not denial, it's development. You're being equipped for what you asked for. It's coming, but it must arrive at the pace that wisdom allows. If you received it too soon, it would overwhelm you, but when it comes in divine timing, it will fit perfectly, effortlessly, and permanently. You may begin to notice new doors opening, unexpected conversations happening, unusual opportunities arising. These are not coincidences. They're markers that the divine calendar has turned in your favor. Don't overanalyze them. Move with humility, but move decisively. Fear is the enemy of chosen moments. If you overthink every step, you'll paralyze yourself with caution. Faith doesn't require reckless action, but it does require confident motion. When the door opens, walk through it. Even if you can't see the whole hallway yet, trust that the next door will reveal itself when it's time. As you rise, remember that elevation will test your heart as much as it tests your mind. The higher you go, the more essential humility becomes. You are not being lifted to feel superior. You are being lifted to serve at a greater level. The chosen are not chosen for comfort. They are chosen for contribution. Your light will shine brightest when you use it to illuminate others. The influence that's coming is not to inflate your ego, but to expand your impact. You'll begin to sense a deeper empathy for others, especially those who are still in the shadows you once walked through. That compassion is part of your calling. You're not meant to rise alone. You're meant to become a bridge for others, to show through your life that redemption is real, that faith still works, and that destiny does not discriminate. Every struggle you've endured is now becoming a source of wisdom for someone else's journey. Be mindful that not everyone who praises your rise has pure intentions. Some will celebrate what you represent but not who you are. Stay grounded. Let your identity remain rooted in your purpose, not in applause. Applause fades, authenticity doesn't. The chosen one never chases validation because they already walk in assignment. You don't need to prove your worth. Your existence is already proof of it. You will also be tested by abundance. It's easy to stay humble when you have little. It's harder when you have much. Remember that blessings reveal character as much as trials do. What you do with favor determines how long it lasts. Be generous with what you're given. The chosen understand that giving never diminishes them, it multiplies them. The hand that blesses others never runs empty. There will be days when your spirit feels heavy again, when doubt whispers that maybe you imagined all of this. That's natural. Every transition comes with resistance. The old energy will try to pull you back into familiar fear. But remember what's true. You've already crossed too many bridges to go back. You've been through too many storms to forget who calmed them. When uncertainty comes, don't run from it. Sit with it. Let it remind you of how far you've come and how capable you are of enduring. You are now entering a phase where obedience will bring acceleration. Every time you act in alignment, things will move faster. The divine responds to readiness. When you show that you're prepared to carry responsibility, heaven releases more. You'll feel it. Doors opening with ease, people appearing at the right time, ideas flowing effortlessly. That's not luck. That's synchronization between your will and divine will. Pay attention to your instincts. They are sharper now because your awareness has expanded. When something feels off, it usually is. Don't force what resists. Don't cling to what's collapsing. The chosen must learn to release gracefully. Holding on to expired things creates delay. Trust that what leaves your life is clearing the way for something greater. In this stage, gratitude will become your shield. The more thankful you are for what is, the faster what will be begins to manifest. Gratitude isn't just emotion, it's alignment. It says to the universe, I am ready for more because I value what I already have. A grateful heart creates an open channel for abundance to flow, and when abundance arrives, remember to give thanks before you even receive it. That level of faith turns possibility into reality. This is the season where vision becomes tangible. Ideas will come faster, connections will feel guided, even challenges will appear purposeful. Every event, whether joyful or difficult, will seem to carry a message designed to refine you. This awareness is a gift. Use it wisely. Don't rush to react. Learn to respond with perspective. The chosen don't panic in the storm because they've learned the storm is often the transportation to new ground. And when you stand on that new ground, you'll understand why everything had to happen the way it did. You'll see that no pain was wasted, no tear was forgotten, and no waiting was meaningless. It all conspired to bring you here, to this threshold of destiny, where you finally realize that you were never behind, never forgotten, and never unworthy. You were simply being prepared for the moment when heaven could trust you with more. The world around you may not yet see it, but you can feel it. The momentum, the shift, the quiet confirmation that you are exactly where you're meant to be. You have become the evidence of divine timing, the proof that faith works, and the embodiment of purpose awakening. This is your appointed hour. This is your divine unfolding. And it begins not someday, but now, right here, in this breath, in this moment, where everything changes forever. Right here, in this breath, in this moment, where everything changes forever. Because what you are stepping into is not merely a new chapter, it is a new book entirely. The language of your life is being rewritten, and the author is no longer fear, but faith. You will begin to sense that what once felt impossible now feels inevitable. That's how transformation begins, not with noise, not with sudden miracles, but with a quiet conviction that what's meant for you cannot be taken from you. You've reached a place where the old version of you simply cannot exist anymore. The fears that used to stop you have lost their authority. The opinions that used to shape you no longer carry weight. The disappointments that once broke you are now becoming reminders of how unbreakable you are. You've been through too much to go back to small thinking. You've seen too much grace to ever doubt again. You are not the same person who started this journey. You are stronger, wiser, calmer, and more certain. And that certainty is your new foundation. You'll find that you begin to walk differently, not with arrogance, but with assurance. Assurance that no matter what unfolds, you are guided. Assurance that even if things appear delayed, they are not denied. Assurance that what's unfolding in the unseen is far greater than what you can observe. That's the mindset of the chosen, quiet confidence, built on the memory of divine faithfulness. You must now learn to trust that everything is happening for your elevation, even when it doesn't feel like it. Life will still test you, people will still challenge you, circumstances will still shift unexpectedly, but this time you won't react from panic, you'll respond from peace, because now you understand that the storm doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to reveal you. It reveals how steady you've become, how deeply you've rooted yourself in trust, how resilient your spirit truly is. The next level of your life requires presence. You can no longer live distracted by what others are doing, saying, or thinking. The chosen don't waste energy competing, they create. You are being called to build something only you can build, to write, to teach, to speak, to serve, to lead, to heal, to inspire. Whatever it is, it carries your signature. Don't question why it feels different from what everyone else is doing. That's because it is. You were never supposed to copy anyone. You were supposed to create what's missing. This is the era of authenticity. The world doesn't need another imitation. It needs your truth, your raw, unfiltered, unpolished truth. The scars, the setbacks, the struggles, they're not things to hide. They're the proof that you survived. They're the language of connection. When you speak from that place, people listen, not because your story is perfect, but because it's real, and real always reaches where polished cannot. You'll notice that people begin to gravitate toward your light. Some will seek guidance, others will seek healing. You may not feel ready to lead, but leadership is not about titles, it's about example. By simply walking in obedience, you become a living message. Your consistency will speak louder than any speech you could give. Keep walking in truth, and those who are meant to learn from you will find you naturally. But be mindful, attention is not the same as alignment. Many will be drawn to your energy, but not all are meant to stay. The chosen must learn the sacred art of discernment, knowing who to invite in and who to love from a distance. Protect your peace fiercely. You can't pour from an empty vessel. If your spirit feels heavy around certain people, that's not judgment, that's recognition. Energy doesn't lie. As you continue on this path, you'll begin to understand that divine favor always carries divine responsibility. The more you're entrusted with, the more integrity is required. The chosen walk a narrow road, not because they're better, but because they're called to carry something precious. That calling demands honesty, humility, and discipline. Stay true to your principles even when no one is watching. The moments when you choose integrity over ease will become the very foundation of your authority. You're going to start noticing that opportunities begin to meet you halfway. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. The conversations that matter will find you. The doors that align will open effortlessly. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation that you're finally moving in rhythm with divine timing. The chosen don't chase what's already theirs. They attract it through alignment. And yet, even in alignment, there will be quiet seasons. Don't misinterpret them as stagnation. In the silence, roots are growing. Every blessing you'll ever receive must first be anchored deep enough to sustain it. This is why you've been hidden for so long, so your foundation could be fortified. Fame can come overnight, but purpose is built over years. You're not being delayed, you're being made durable. You'll find yourself thinking differently about success. The world defines it by numbers, noise, and attention. You'll begin to define it by peace, purpose, and impact. Success without peace is just performance, and you were not created to perform. You were created to transform. You'll realize that joy comes not from what you have,